In this video today, we'll be looking at the Select Sample Depth tool in more detail in Affinity. So if you want to follow along with this tutorial, please find the link for these images in the description. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please hit the subscribe button for more helpful tips and tricks related to Affinity. Now with that said, let's get started with the video. So as you can see here, we have an image of a coffee in the canvas. Now let us select the image first, since we need to select the image or the layer associated with that image in order to apply this depth of field selection tool. So after selecting the image, let's navigate to the top and then select Canva AI Studio in order to change our studio. Now after changing the studio, let us simply select this tool called Select Sampled Depth tool in order to access our tool of the day. And as soon as we select the tool, now you can see that it has automatically selected our entire image. And if you look below, then you will also be able to see the Select Sample Depth box that comes up as soon as we select this tool. Now inside of it, you can see that we have two properties. One is near and the other is far. We need to adjust these sliders first in order to make the selection of our coffee. So now inside of this image, if you look here closely, then you'll also be able to see few details such as a milk jar as well as coffee beans behind our subject in the image, which falls as a part of the depth of field being applied to the image. So what this tool basically does is it allows us to make the selection of the subject or the background based on the depth of field inside of that image. So right now you can see that the far attribute or property is by default cranked all the way to 100%. So we can make the selection based on only the near attribute or property, or else we can only adjust the far attribute to make the selection. So since we want to select the coffee, which is the subject of our image, we'll simply adjust the far attribute by using the slider beneath the far property like so. Now you can see that as soon as we start to decrease our slider for the far property, it is slowly starting to deselect the areas where the depth of field has been applied. So let us simply slowly decrease our far property like so. And now you can see that the selection is starting to trespass inside of our coffee cup as well. So we don't want that. So we'll simply click on the slider of the far property and then increase it like so to a bit so that it will encompass all of the subject details and information of our coffee cup as well as coffee inside of the selection. Now, after the selection has been made, you can see that the extra selection, which is also inside of the focus, is also being selected beneath the coffee cup, which is actually the floor where the coffee cup is residing. So we can simply adjust the selection later on inside of the Pixel Studio. So what this particular tool allows us to do is it allows us to make the selection inside of our image of a subject that is on focus or the background that is not on focus. So basically that is what this tool allows us to do. And the next thing that you can do in order to use this tool is to subscribe to the Canva AI plans if you want to use this tool, since it is a AI based tool inside of Affinity. Now after I'm satisfied with the selection, I'll simply click on the apply button, and now it has successfully applied or made the selection of our coffee inside of this image. Now let's move on to our Pixel Studio. And inside from the Pixel Studio, now we want to refine our selection by opting out the floor areas that also has been selected, since it is part of the focused information or focused area inside of the image. Now, in order to opt out that particular selection, what we can do is simply select the next tool, which is selection brush tool. So we'll simply select the selection brush tool, and after selecting the selection brush tool, make sure that your mode is selected to subtract, because we want to opt out the selection of the floor. And the next thing that we also want to do is increase the size of the brush. So to increase the size of the brush, I'll be using the shortcut key of Command plus Control, and then simply click and drag our brush to the right like so. And now you can see that it is increasing the size of the brush. And now, after our size of the brush has been increased, let us simply brush over the extra areas like so in order to get rid of the selection that we do not want, which is the actual floor where our coffee is residing. Now you can see that few of the areas or information inside of the coffee cup has also been selected. So similar to before, let us simply use the shortcut key of Control plus Option and then decrease our brush like so. And then now let's change our mode to Add and then simply brush over the extra areas that entails the information of the coffee cup like so. And I think now our selection is perfect. Now the next thing that we can do is we can simply mask out our coffee cup from this particular image, and to do that we'll click on the mask icon on the bottom of the layers panel like so. Now you can see that our coffee cup has been successfully masked. Now let us get rid of the selection by using the shortcut key of Command plus D. And if you're using Windows, you can use the shortcut key of Control plus D in order to get rid of the selection. Now you can see that our selection of the coffee cup is perfect. Now the next thing that we can do is I have a background layer as well beneath our actual subject, which is the coffee cup layer. So I'll simply toggle the visibility of the background layer on. After toggling the visibility of the background layer on, now let us select the image layer again and then choose the move tool. We can also use the shortcut key B to choose the move tool, and we'll simply resize our coffee cup by clicking on the anchor point on the top and then simply dragging it below like so in order to resize it. Now what we want to do is we want to place our coffee cup on top of the table. So I'll simply click and drag it like so in order to place it on top of the table. So right now our coffee cup is far greater in size compared to the table. So we want to make our coffee cup a bit smaller in size so that it will look much more realistic and practical in this composition. So right now I'm satisfied with this particular size. So I'll leave as it is. So the next thing that we can do is we can simply now use the shortcut key of Command and plus in order to zoom in inside or to our coffee cup. And after zooming in, you can see that although we have successfully cut out the coffee cup, it still needs to blend well with the background. So in order to blend our coffee cup perfectly with the background, we'll simply click on the settings icon at the top by actively selecting our coffee cup layer. So after selecting the settings icon, you can see that the blend option box has been popped up. Inside of the source layer ranges, we'll select the right node and then drag it slowly beneath like so. We don't want to go all the way below. We just want to find a sweet spot. Or what we can do next in order to blend it much more perfectly is we can also change our color channel to maybe blue, and we are selecting the color channel to blue because the opposite of the blue color channel is always yellow. So now let us simply click on the right hand side node. Click or select the node on the right hand side inside of the source layer ranges and then simply drag it slowly beneath like so. And we don't want to go all the way below. And now it will slowly start to blend in. So we want to find a good adjustment for our coffee cup like so. So I think this much is fine. Let us also play and adjust these settings for the underlying composition ranges. So for that, let us start with the rightmost node similar to before and then drag it slowly. So we don't want to drag it all the way to the bottom. We just want to find a good position that will enable our coffee cup to look much more natural with the background. So we can simply add other node as well if we like and then adjust it like so. So I think this much is fine. Now what we can do next is let us close the blend options box in order to commit the settings. And now the next thing that we can also do is access the curves adjustment layer. So we can access the curves adjustment layer by clicking on the adjustment icon beneath the layers panel. And after clicking on the adjustment icon, let us select the curves option right here. And after selecting the curves option, you can see that our curves box has been popped up with different settings. What we want to do is we want to change our color channel to blue again for this as well, and then decrease the blues so that the yellow color tones would be introduced inside of our subject, which is the coffee cup. And now you can see that it is looking much more blended compared to before. So we can also simply click on the thumbnail of curves adjustment layer from inside of the layers panel, and then simply drag it inside of the image layer like so. And after dragging it inside, what it does is it will clip its effect only to our coffee cup or our subject without affecting the overall background layer inside of the overall composition. Now what we can do next is we can again open the curves adjustment box and then play around with the master channel as well. So for that, I'll simply click and add a node to our axis and then increase our highlights a bit inside of the highlight portion. So we don't want to increase it all the way to the top since we don't want to lose details in the highlight portion. And similarly, let us again add a node beneath and then decrease it a bit like so in order to add a contrast in our subject so that our subject will look a much more popped up in this image. So now if I fit our view to the screen by using the shortcut key of Command plus 0, you'll see that our coffee cup has been successfully placed on top of the table. So there are a bit of artifacts that we need to rectify. So in order to rectify those artifacts, let us select on the mask and then choose the brush tool again. After choosing the brush tool, let us decrease the size of the brush. So to decrease the size of the brush, I'll again use the shortcut key of Control plus Option and then simply click and drag it all the way to the left to decrease the size of the brush. If you are using a Windows machine, you can also use the shortcut key of Control plus Alt in order to decrease the size of the brush. And now you can see that our size of the brush is slowly start to decrease like so. And after decreasing the size of the brush, the next thing that we want to do is change the style of the brush. So we'll select the brush panel. And after selecting the brush panel, we want to change the type or category of the brush to basic and select a soft round brush from here. So I'll select this round soft brush, and after selecting it, let us navigate back to our layers panel and make sure that the layer or the mask is selected for our subject, which is the coffee cup, and then make sure that the foreground color is also set to black. And I'll simply turn off this wet edges settings since we don't want that setting. So I'll simply now brush over the edges like so in order to get rid of those extra artifacts from our subject selection like so. And now you can see that the artifacts are slowly starting to be hidden or masked out. Now after masking out those artifacts, the next thing that we can do is in order to make our subject, which is the coffee cup, much more realistic, we'll simply add a new layer on top of the background layer, which is the empty layer. And after adding the empty layer, what we want to do is we'll simply zoom in again to view our coffee cup more clearly. And then I'll simply press the spacebar key and then adjust the view to focus on our coffee cup. Now the next thing that we'll be doing is simply selecting our coffee cup again. So in order to select the coffee cup, I'll be holding down the command key and then left click on our thumbnail of the coffee cup in order to make the selection. Now after the selection is being made, the next thing that we'll do is navigate to the top and select the pixel menu. From the pixel menu, let's select pixel selection and then select the option called grow and shrink. So we want to shrink. So we want to grow our selection a bit in order to add those shadows so that the placement of the coffee cup will look much more realistic. So let us increase the radius value. So I'll simply click and drag the slider like so. However, the slider for this go and shrink option is very much agile. So it is best to use a value manually. So I'll simply add the value of 1 pixel for now. And after adding in a value of 1 pixel, let us zoom in again and check if it has done the work properly. So I want to increase the value of the radius again to maybe add 2 pixel for now. And after changing the value to 2 pixel, let us hit unapply. Now, by selecting the pixel layer, which is the empty pixel layer that we have newly created recently, let us simply brush over beneath the areas of our subject, which is the coffee cup. Now let us decrease the size of the brush. So right now I'm using the less bracket key in order to decrease the size of the brush, and then I'll simply paint over inside of the selection beneath the cup. So before that, let us simply change the color as well so that our shadow will look much more realistic. So I'll simply change the color, or maybe use this gray slider in order to change our foreground color to a minimum of maybe 22 for now, so that instead of selecting the complete black color as a foreground color, we can have the gray color that would work best to apply the shadows to have a subtle effect. So now, by making sure that empty pixel layer is selected actively, let us brush beneath the coffee cup. So I'll simply brush beneath the coffee cup like so, and you can see that it is successfully brushing over the coffee cup. So if you're wondering why I am brushing at the side as well, that is because if you look outside, then the light is focusing from the center, or the light is being applied from the center of the table. So I want to apply the subtle shadows on the side as well so that it will look much more realistic. So now I'll simply use the hand tool in order to pan around to the section, so that we'll be focusing on the areas where we are applying the shadows. Now you can see currently it is not looking much more natural and realistic. However, we'll change the blend mode of the empty pixel layer that we have recently added. Now the next thing that we'll be doing is let us deselect the selection. So in order to deselect, I'll use the shortcut key of Command plus D. And if you're using Windows, you can use the shortcut key of Control plus D in order to deselect. Now let's change the blend mode of pixel to multiply. So multiply is a blend mode that retains everything that is darker. So I'll select multiply option right here. And now the next thing that I'll be doing is simply adjust the opacity slider like so in order to control the shadow like so. Now we want to refine the extra part as well. So for that, I'll select the eraser tool and then decrease the size of the eraser tool by using the shortcut key of Control plus Option again, and simply clicking and dragging to the left like so to decrease the size of the brush like so. Let us decrease the size of the brush in order to brush over the areas to fix the shadows in few areas like so. And let us simply brush over the areas like so, slightly at the side of the cup. Let us simply brush over these areas, and then let us simply brush over few areas like so in order to erase those shadows applied. Now after I'm satisfied, let us again increase the opacity value all the way to the right like so, and I think the value of maybe 92% would be fine. So the next thing that we can also do is, now if we zoom out and view the full picture of our composition, now you can see that the shadows are making the placement of the cup or the coffee cup much more realistic. Now this is how you can use the sample depth selection tool inside of your images or photographs if they have a depth of field inside of them to make a good selection. So if you find this video helpful, please click on the like button. And for more helpful tips and tricks related to Affinity, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching this video, and see you on the next one.